We are going to talk about a movie.
This is gonna be a disaster.
It was one of the best movies of the year.
It's gonna go so well. Probably one of the last movies I would ever want to see in a theater. What is going on, everybody? Taylor here, and I am joined once again by...
Hello everyone, my name is Jacob London and I'm here to annoy Taylor for the next hour. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty great. So we are going to be talking about the Academy Awards today.
My favorite topic!
Favorite time of the year. We are going to be going through all of our Oscar nomination predictions, seeing as they come out tomorrow.
Yeah, we really need to do this. By the time you see this video...
It'll be today.
Yeah, it'll be today.
Yeah, they'll come out today. So we're a little behind, but that's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Where are we going to start?
So we each decided that we were going to pick 2 technical awards each that we wanted to talk about. The one that I wanted to talk about is Best Film Editing.
Okay.
So the 5 predictions that I have for film editing are First Man, Roma, Black Panther, Vice, and The Favourite. I feel like these are the films that are most likely going to be nominated the most. First Man is a masterstroke of editing. There is incredible editing in that film.
Yes.
The other ones I just feel also do feel like they're most likely going to be the ones that are in the conversation. The one that I feel like could possibly sneak in and get and instead is Star is Born, and The Favourite gets knocked out. My reasoning for that is if you're going to win Best Picture, you have to get film editing, basically.
And I'll tell you why that's completely wrong.
So I feel like that is most likely what's going to happen.
You're completely wrong.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. I have A Star is Born knocking out Black Panther, not The Favourite.
Okay.
Because Black Panther's not going to win. It'll be lucky if it gets nominated for Best Picture at this point.
True.
Which I know is a huge conversation. People are like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. They've done so much campaigning. They're screaming about it's going to happen. And I would like it to, but I just I see, well, no, I don't, none of us trust them at this point. Let's be real. But I just don't see it happening. And if it does, I think it'll be one that squeezes by with a nomination.
Yeah, and that's fair. I can understand that.
But we will get to that
little
later. But my list is the same, like I said, except for that.
The one that I find interesting that is not a part of this, Green Book, considering it is a frontrunner.
I get that, but the editing in that movie isn't anything special.
No, I know that. It's just, historically speaking, if a film has any chance of winning Best Picture, it has to be nominated for Best Editing. So, that is like Birdman was the last one to win it without getting nominated for Best Editing, and there's a reason behind that. So,
well, I get that, and there's pretty much 0 people that I know that want Green Book to win, or you have to even be have it nominated. So the thing is, if people, feel that way, they're going to do everything they can to make sure that it doesn't get nominated for film editing. I'm
just very curious to see if that happens, because if Green Book isn't nominated for Best Editing, that is a huge, hey guys, maybe it's not the frontrunner. But that's just my thought. What was your category that you would like to talk about next?
Let's talk about cinematography, just because to me that's always an interesting category every year. I have First Man because, once again, there's so much I love about that movie, and I know I can understand why certain people don't like it, but for me, there's just so many artistic elements of it that are handled so beautifully in that movie. So I have First Man, I have Beale Street Could Talk, which we still haven't been able to see, unfortunately, but I know that people are saying that's one of the most beautiful parts of the film, is just how it's shot. So I'm very excited for that, and I wouldn't be surprised if it got a nomination. I have Roma. which personally for me, I think it's beautiful cinematography, but as someone who didn't really connect with the movie, like I'll give it the credit that I think it's due, where I think it'll get nominated, but for me, it's not on the top of my list. The other one I have is The Favorite, because the way that movie is shot, I think adds a lot of character to a movie that's already very like crazy and wacky, and all of a sudden they'll throw in a fisheye lens and you're just like, what is going on? And then the other one I have is A Star is Born. I would much prefer if Bohemian Rhapsody was in there. But I think that A Star is Born will get it.
Okay. I have the exact same list, except I swap out A Star is Born with Black Panther.
Okay.
I have a feeling that Black Panther is going to be nominated for a ton of technical awards, like an absolute slew of them, and especially if it's not going to get Best Picture.
Right.
So if it doesn't get nominated for Best Picture, it's going to be nominated for like 6 or 7 technical awards, and I think this is one of them.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to Best Original Score.
Okay.
So for score, again, we haven't seen If Beale Street Could Talk, but from the buzz that everyone's going, I think Beale Street Could Talk definitely gets nominated.
Yes.
I think that First Man is also one that I've got on my list. Number 3, Black Panther. Number 4, Mary Poppins Returns. And number 5, I have Annihilation.
Ooh, okay.
Something in my gut just says Annihilation. I could be completely wrong. I just have this gut feel that the score in Annihilation is absolutely incredible and absolutely amazing, and I think it absolutely deserves to be nominated, and I wouldn't be shocked if it does. Okay.
That's interesting. For me, I have First Man, because I think the score is a huge part, once again, of artistically why this movie works the way that it does, which also like sound editing is a big one for this movie for me. But I have First Man, and I think it's a front runner just because of all the awards buzz that Justin has gotten for all of the award shows coming up to this point. Battling with it, obviously, is Beale Street, because everyone, like we said, has said that one is one to beat. It's beautiful, and I'm very excited to listen to it when we get there. I have A Quiet Place.
Oh, okay.
Just because, once again, this movie, as paradoxical as it kind of is with it being a silent, more of a silent movie, the sound that it does have becomes so much more important. And I just think the way that it's used in this movie and how it's created is fantastic, which this one is probably one I'm going to take a hit for. Like, it probably won't actually get nominated, but there's a couple of these categories where I've just kind of have gone with just kind of the crazy ones just to kind of see what happens. Yeah. The other one I have for number 4 is Mary Poppins Returns, because, it's Mary Poppins. That's some good music. And then I also have Annihilation on here.
Oh, wow.
Once again, probably going to take a hit for that one. But anyone who knows me at all knows that I am completely in love with Annihilation in every single way that you can possibly be in love with a movie. And like, I feel like a broken record because I've said this a couple of times in this category already, but the sound in Annihilation is so important to the artistic vision of this movie and does so much with how you perceive what's going on and this kind of new world that you're thrust into. So those are what I have for nominations.
Well, that is certainly going to be a very interesting category. So let's move on to our last of the technical awards that we just want to talk about and go over really quickly was, of course, Best Song. So what do you reckon your 5 picks are? All
right. So this one... Coming in at number 1, I have Shallow from A Star is Born, which still hurts me to say. Because Shallow is fine. But there are a handful of other songs from A Star is Born that I would have preferred to see. Just personally. Like, Shallow is obviously the radio hit, the catchy, like, it's what that is, and that there's nothing wrong with that. But would have liked to see a different song up there for that one. I have The Place Where the Lost Things Go.
Oh, okay.
I know that there's a lot of toss-up for people between this and Triple Little Light Fantastic. And I've gone back and forth with it because Trip a Little Light Fantastic is definitely more of like the crowd pleasing, like get up and dance kind of song. But, and with the Place Where the Lost Things Go being the complete other side, sometimes the Academy likes to go that way.
It's the more serious song, and it's the the deeper song. It's the whole point of the film.
It like really puts the heart right in the middle of the film. So I just went with that one. I don't know, gut thing again there. I put this one was a heart thing for me. Like, I don't know if it actually has a chance at this point, but I put Revelation from Boy Erased because it has my heart. Like, that song, like, I loved that movie. I know it kind of dropped off and didn't really end up doing anything in terms of box office and awards contention and stuff, but I really did enjoy that movie, and I think that song is just really, really great.
I absolutely adore that song, and
so that's in there, which is another one I'll take a hit for if I have to. I put I'll Fight from RBG, and then my last one is All the Stars from Black Panther.
All right, you and I have very much the same list, except I've got Girl in the Movies. Except I'll Fight.
Okay,
just look, I'm an idiot, and I follow the Golden Globes, and they nominated it. I got no idea in this category.
That's completely fair.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you're not a complete idiot, because that song is definitely the thing I think that has gained the most traction from that movie, which it's a great movie. Like, it's a fun, heartwarming, Dolly Parton filled music movie that is a lot of fun. But I wouldn't be surprised to see it there personally.
Yeah, I also go with When the Lost Things Go. The reason is that whole song is the theme of the film.
Right.
It's the whole point. It's the whole all of the emotion, everything is in that film. Now, I personally prefer Trip a Little Light Fantastic. I think that's a slightly better song, and I actually enjoy it more, and I kind of get a kick out of it. But I can understand why the Academy will go with The Place Where the Lost Things Go.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Revelation. The song in the trailer made the trailer for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd be like, okay, I'm going to go with that one, because that song worked so well in that trailer.
It sold it.
Exactly.
For exactly what you were getting with that movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All the Stars. It's the only Kendrick Lamar song I ever liked. And it's so much hate.
I know. Just sound off in the comments. We're ready.
Yep. And last one, of course, is Shallow, because it's going to win this award, and it, of course, has to be nominated. All right, so they're our quick technical ones.
Just breeze through, because we could talk about these for like 3 hours, but we know you guys don't want to put up with that, so that's all right.
So let's now move on to our more serious major awards in the screenplay.
Yes.
So we'll move on to Best Original Screenplay to start with.
All right.
So for me, I have Vice.
Okay.
The Favourite, Roma, Green Book, and Sorry to Bother You.
Okay.
Now, Sorry to Bother You is my far off pick that I... Personally, it didn't do anything. It didn't work on me.
Okay.
This film personally didn't hit me and it didn't quite work. There are moments in this film that I adored and I loved, and there are moments in this film that just was, that's a little too out there. That's a little too weird, and it just it reaches and it takes a huge swing, and for me it got first base. It didn't quite get a home run. It got a run though. But I know this film is a home run for a lot of people.
Which is understandable. I can see why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so for me, I can see that on there. Personally, I would want A Quiet Place on there. That's if I could put on there, I'd put A Quiet Place over Sorry to Bother You. I think that the screenplay for that, and all these people who are saying, but there's no dialogue and there's no words. That's not what a screenplay is. A screenplay is also direction. It is also using your words to tell the story. And I think, A Quiet Place's words is absolutely incredible, and it absolutely deserves to be nominated.
Yes, definitely. For my list, it's a little bit different. Apparently this year I'm just swinging hard and just seeing what happens. I put The Favorite, which I have as the front runner. Just, I don't know why. I just kind of have a feeling that a lot of the other awards have been snubbing it a little bit. But I have The Favorite. I have Roma. I have Vice. I have my two swings are A Quiet Place. Just because I do think it's one of those movies that's not getting, you know, the attention for Best Picture really, and it's not getting the attention for those kind of things that I would like it to. But I do think people have looked at it and said the screenplay is great and the, you know, the sound editing and like it's at least kind of getting that kind of talk. So I put it on here for screenplay. And then another one, I replaced this one with one I had originally, and I originally had Green Book in here. And then I just kind of, I don't know, I just kind of have this thing where I'm just,
I don't want to put Green Book on.
I just don't want to do it. I'm like, you know, it was a fun movie and I enjoyed it, you know, for what it was, but like at the same time, I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So I put 8th Grade.
Fair enough.
Because it has been on a lot of people's lists of possible upsets, possible contenders. So I put 8th Grade in there.
That's completely understandable. And,
also, I love Bo Burnham, so
had
to do it.
That's understandable.
Had to be done.
All right, let's move on to Best Adapted Screenplay. Taylor, what are your 5 nominees?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this one is like, this one's tough for me.
Yeah,
this one is really tough for me. So went with my heart on this one and put Black Klansman as the front runner. Just because I think that is a movie that very much deserves it. Like that movie did so much for me personally when I saw it that I was just like sold. So that one's my front runner. Beale Street is my runner up for that one. I have A Star Is Born. I have Can You Ever Forgive Me? Because I adored that movie and I really hope it does get some love with at least some nominations because it deserves it. And hopefully if it does get those nominations, more people will seek it out because it's fantastic.
It is absolutely fantastic.
And then I also put First Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I kind of went for a swing on that one a little bit.
That's a pretty big swing. Not as big as mine, but it's it's a pretty big swing. I
know exactly what you're gonna say. Okay.
Okay. I'm so ready to get my heart completely broken and completely destroyed.
It's gonna happen.
All right. So my front runner at the moment is If Beale Street Could Talk, Black Klansman, A Star Is Born, and Can You Ever Forgive Me? And my big swing that I know is going to be a miss, but I adore this movie, and the screenplay is the exact reason why, plus a certain other performance that I will mention later. It's The Hate You Give. I want this film to be nominated so badly. I want the Academy to give this film the love it deserves. I hope it's going to get nominated. I don't see it happening.
I know.
But
I know. I would legitimately. I think we would both cry if it did.
Well, you will see our reaction.
You will see if we cry because...
Yes. But I really want that film to be nominated. Realistically, I think Black Panther will get it.
That's a fair.
Realistically, I think it is, but I'm not putting that on my official list. Hate You Give is on my official list, and I will regret that tomorrow.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Let's move on to Best Supporting Actress.
Oh, okay.
So, my 5 for Best Supporting Actress are, I've got Regina King, Amy Adams for Vice.
Yes.
So, Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk.
Yes.
Amy Adams for Vice. Emma Stone for The Favourite. Rachel Weisz for The Favourite. And Emily Blunt for A Quiet Place.
Ooh.
I have hope. It's between her and another someone else who I have a feeling we're going to be mentioning in a minute.
Yes, probably.
It's between those two, and I will defer to you and we can have that conversation.
Okay, and we'll get there. So I have Amy Adams for Vice, but I have her winning.
Oh.
Just because she's kind of doing her Leo DiCaprio right now, where she's like, I've been nominated 800 times and I've waited 900 years for this. And I don't know. I just have a feeling that they'll do that, where Regina King, because she is on my list, has all this build up and has won kind of all the awards leading up to it. And then they'll just be like, career Oscar, Amy Adams. I don't know why. I just kind of have a feeling, but I think it's between those two at the point, like for front runners.
Yeah.
I do have Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone, but then I also have Claire Foy.
Yeah.
Because I think she probably has the biggest chance for a big win.
Yeah.
Or at least a big nomination for First Man. I think she is one of the best parts of that movie in terms of like just genuine performance.
Yeah.
She puts a lot into that role and you get a lot out of it, I think, watching her in that role.
And I completely agree with her. And you get the feeling that once it became very apparent that First Man, in terms of Oscar buzz, in terms of audience's reaction, it wasn't going to be the hit that everyone assumed it was.
Right. It wasn't going to be that Oscar frontrunner that they were thinking.
Suddenly this film just went, oh no, it's not happening this year. I have a feeling that they very much went, all right, focus on Claire Foy, focus on score.
I think that's what they did too.
And I think that because we're not hearing much buzz around it for director, for picture.
Right.
Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Gosling. Wow, that's a different movie.
Oh, good job.
Ryan Gosling has which kills me.
Because that performance is so understated and done so well. But that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, that's a different conversation that we'll talk about. But he I have a feeling that that's where they went. There is a very good chance that she will get nominated over Emily Blunt, especially because Emily Blunt's got another film.
Right. But I do think it comes down to those two for that last spot.
I can't imagine anyone else coming in.
Well, just because a lot of the others who were kind of contenders have really kind of dropped off of the conversation, at least seriously.
Like Nicole Kidman for Boy Race is gone.
Yeah.
The one that hurts me the most is Michelle Yeoh.
I know.
She is a possible upset.
I think she could be.
I've got her as a possible.
I think she could be.
Yeah. Where if we're sitting here on Tuesday night and we hear, Michelle Yeoh for Crazy Rich Asians, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna be very happy. And
we're gonna wake up the whole neighborhood.
Exactly. It's gonna. It will be very, very deserving and worth it, and I'm happy to give.
I wouldn't be upset about that.
Exactly. But I have a feeling the other four are pretty much guarantees. Like
I think so.
Amy Adams and Regina King, I'm willing to put hard money on.
Yeah.
There is a chance Emma Stone, one of them doesn't.
There's a chance one of them doesn't, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to supporting actor.
All right. So in supporting actor, I once again took a little bit of a swing here with my front runner, just because with the way things have been going, it doesn't really look like this is going to happen. But I have Richard E. Grant because I think his performance in Can't You Ever Forgive Me is sensational.
Yeah.
It is the best I think we've ever seen from him. And I think it's just kind of that role that he got at the right time.
Yeah.
Where I think that he deserves it for sure. But I think my second place, Mr. Mahershala Ali, will probably take it from him.
Yes.
And get it for the second year. I have Timothée Chalamet, which once again, I'm really sad he's going to miss out, but he's really young and has plenty of time to pull a Leo or an Amy Adams and eventually get there. I like how we're getting a club. We're going to have a club of those people pretty soon. I have Sam Elliott from Star is Born. And I, for the longest time, had Sam Rockwell on here. And then we actually saw Vice.
He's in like 3 minutes.
He's good. But he doesn't have enough screen time to me where I want to give him an Oscar nomination. Yeah. So I gave it to Adam Driver.
That's understandable.
Just because I think Adam Driver does a great job in that movie. It's not his movie and it's not his time to shine, but I still think he does a great job.
He does. He does a fantastic job, and I think he is wonderful. And I do feel he will get nominated, but he's not on my list.
Fair enough.
So I've got my front runner is Mahershala Ali. I think all the momentum for him is there. I can't see that train slowing down, despite how many people are trying to derail that train with every single controversy. Oh my God, every single controversy. The fact that he is still surviving all of these is a miracle.
I know.
But, and that to me is a chance of being the upset. There is a genuine chance of someone else winning it because of all these controversies.
Yes.
Richard E. Grant, to me, this is a once in a lifetime career role.
Yeah, right.
I am probably going to eat my words, but I highly doubt we will ever see Richard E. Grant have the chance to get an Oscar again.
Yeah,
with this type of
with
role,
this kind of
and have this genuinely good chance to actually win the Academy Award. And to me, Mahershala's already got one.
I know. We talked about this. We talked about this.
He's already got one.
Where I don't like saying that, because if you deserve 2 Oscars in a row, you deserve 2 Oscars in a row. And I think Mahershala, like I said, was incredible in the role.
Yeah.
But I just think Richard E. Grant was better.
Yeah, so do I. I do too. And I think what Richard E. Grant does in Can You Ever Forgive Me is sensational.
Oh, absolutely.
And heartbreaking and heart-wrenching. And you are sitting there the entire time captivated by this man. But I do think that I think he will at least get nominated, which is amazing because he absolutely deserves it.
Yes.
Number 3, I've got Timothée Chalamet. Again, heart-wrenching, captivating.
Yeah.
Amazing performance. Absolutely deserves it. Sam Elliott kind of falls under that same category for me with Sam Rockwell. They're not really in the film enough, but the momentum's with him. I have a feeling he will be nominated. The momentum's there to at least a nomination.
I think it'll come down between him and Rockwell. Like, they'll kick each other out, I think. One of the two will happen.
Now, this is my swing. Anyone who knows me, since we saw this movie, and every time we talk about Best Supporting Actor, there is one actor that I keep talking about saying, this man deserves a nomination for this film because he is perfect. He is amazing. And it is absolutely Russell Hornsby for The Hate You Give.
Yes.
He is incredible. He deserves a nomination, and I want him to be nominated more than anything. It will not happen. It will go to
Second
Adam
heartbreak.
And I will have my heart completely destroyed and in tatters when he is not nominated. If we are sitting here on Tuesday, I'm going to apologize to my parents already, but if Russell Hornsby gets nominated, I'm going to squeal and yell.
And wake up everyone in the neighborhood.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, that'll be fun.
All right, let's move on to actor.
Yes, that sounds good to me.
All right, so my 5, I've got Christian Bale for Vice, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born, Viggo Mortensen for Green Book,
yes,
and John David Washington for Black Klansman.
Okay.
Possible upset is Ethan Hawke.
Yes.
However, and a lot of people are talking about that.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it in enough guilds.
No.
I've seen critics talking about it a lot. I've seen people on Twitter talking about it a lot.
But those aren't the people that vote.
Nope. I have not seen enough guilds nominate him and talk about that film.
Yeah. So, where at least we've seen Washington.
Yeah, whereas in Washington's been nominated, there is a genuine buzz.
I feel like there's more buzz around that movie too, with Screenplay and like.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to remember that with the nomination process, they've got to be there. Like I feel like he will be like in the 2 or 3. Whereas Ethan Hawke, he's going to be 1 or not, in the
or
top
not
5.
there, right?
Yeah. So that's, to me, I have a feeling John David Washington will get it.
All right. Well, for the first time, we have the same list.
Wow.
Except my bottom 2 are swapped.
Okay.
I have John David Washington above Viggo Mortensen, which probably is incorrect, but we do have the same list for once.
We will never know.
We will never know.
Heartbreak obviously is Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
I would love
it does make me sad.
Yeah.
Because I do think that not enough people appreciated just that understated, incredible performance he did have. Because to me, when I watched the movie, I was hit very hard emotionally by him. Yeah. And just seeing how he was handling things, where, he at least in this portrayal in this movie, he was very much the guy that just didn't really show emotion. He outwardly, he just didn't really do that much. Like even around his wife, she couldn't really get him to. And that's, it's not Ryan Gosling making a choice on his own to just not show emotion. I think he did very well, where you can still tell in his eyes and you can tell he was just so good. It makes me so sad.
Yeah, it's really disappointing that he isn't going to be nominated. If I could, I'd swap him out for Viggo.
I would too.
I thought Viggo was good. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was good in it.
But I would swap those 2.
Yeah. I don't think he did anything sensational. I thought, it was a fairly stereotypical performance.
I've actually gone back and forth on my list of swapping him and Viggo, just because I was like, do I really swing for it and just really pull a hate you give and just hope that it happens?
I'm open. I'm begging. All right, let's move on to Best Actress.
All right. So this one to me is a 3-horse race.
Yes.
For me, I have Olivia Colman in first. I have Glenn Close in second. I have Lady Gaga in third. Now, those are constantly changing for me, where I'm just like, like Olivia Colman has, won the drama awards, and then Glenn Close and Lady Gaga have tied, or have, or Glenn Close has won, or, there's that. But then Olivia Colman has like the BAFTAs really, I think, going for her. And then, so that's kind of all a giant mess where I'm just like, I no idea. But then I have Melissa McCarthy, because I do think she deserves to be nominated for Can You Ever Forgive Me?
So do I.
And then my last one is just a hope in my heart for Emily Blunt for Mary Poppins, because I think between that and A Quiet Place, and her career in general, she should be nominated for something this year. And so I'm really hoping that she's able to pull it out with Mary Poppins.
Yeah, well, you and I have the same list again.
Twice in a row!
Yeah, I think this is very much going to be the 5 nominees. This is the one where we could possibly get a surprise by I'm going to completely destroy this name in Yalitza from Roma.
From Roma,
I have a feeling that could be the surprise, especially if Roma is. If Roma does go on the run, and it just starts getting nominated for everything, I have a feeling that she will be nominated. So if we're sitting there and all the technicals have Roma and all then
it's possible. To me, that's one of the most interesting ones is between Emily and between her, because it's just interesting to me. Like you said, if Roma starts picking up all of these things, it's very possible she'll also get in there. But once again, to me, it's also really possible that Emily gets in there because of both of her roles, and also because that role did wonders for Julie Andrews.
Yes, it did. I also and to me, I also feel like that could be our biggest indicator on if Roma's winning Best Picture.
It could be,
because if she is nominated, Roma's your front runner.
Yeah, I would agree with that, especially with how it's been doing with Guild Awards and things. But the one upset people want to see for this one, you know who it is, right?
Yes, Toni Collette for Hereditary.
Yeah, everyone has been talking about that, and I almost wouldn't be mad that Emily was bumped out, just because that would be so out of nowhere and created just simply because people were like, "Hey,
nominate her."
That would be so interesting.
It would. It'd be really good, but again, I really want Emily Blunt.
I know, I do too. Okay, what's our next one?
We are moving on. We are down to our last 2. To me, so personally, I think this is. I don't like the Academy do this. Out of the 4 that they do this first.
Yeah,
I really to me, this is the second most important.
I think it is too,
and that is, of course, Best Director.
Yes.
This is a very interesting race this year, and I defer to you to go first.
You're going to defer to me. Okay. Well, I once again have kind of an interesting list that's probably going to be wrong, but I have Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. I have Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born. Spike Lee for Black Klansman. Yorgos Lanthimos, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Correct me if I'm incorrect. For The Favorite, and then I have Adam McKay for Vice.
Okay.
And this one is tough for me because to me, I know Alfonso is getting one.
Yes.
I know Bradley Cooper is getting one.
Yeah.
And then everything else is kind of possibly, because it's, to me, it's very much possible that Peter gets one for Green Book.
Yeah.
It is very possible that, someone else could sneak in there as well, just because there are a lot of movies this year where I feel like they could spread the love to.
Yes.
Where maybe you wouldn't expect it, but because they're not giving it love somewhere else. I don't know. This one's tough for me. And I think I'm kind of swinging again with this one where I really want to see Yorgos nominated. more like that's more of my heart speaking
And I get
on that one. But
I have very much the same list with you, except your ghost is swapped out for Spike Lee.
I have Spike Lee.
Oh, sorry, for Peter Farrelly.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
So Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, Peter Farrelly for Green Book, Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born, Adam McKay for Vice, and Spike Lee for Black Klansman.
Gotcha.
That is my gut feel. It's not what I want, but it's my gut feel. I think that very much we're going to see. I will be shocked if Peter Farrelly is not nominated.
I will too, but once again, this was just. I have a hard time
Yeah.
picking all of them based on just straight up what you think it's going to be based on the math and based on the Guild Awards. Yeah. And sometimes I'm just like, you know what? We're just going to.
I would love to see, instead of Adam McKay, a Barry Jenkins or Ryan Coogler.
See, I've had Barry Jenkins in there for a bit too, and then I kind of got swapped around. This one's tough for me.
Yeah, and it was tough for me too. Look, I personally thought Adam McKay's style in directing in Vice worked against the film. However, if you like that film,
that's
because of the style. Right. So I understand why he would get nominated if he does, considering how many people do love that film. Spike Lee deserves it because it is such an incredible performance and such an incredible film. Incredible directing. Sorry, not performance. I would really, Bradley Cooper. Look. There is no way Bradley Cooper doesn't get nominated.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
If he doesn't, that would be the shock of the entire night.
I think so too, because everyone has talked about how they're going to sweep with the nominations. Like everyone, is convinced he's going to get picture, actor, director. Yeah. At least for nominations. Yeah. So that would be very, very surprising to a lot of people.
Absolutely, I genuinely would be very shocked. Alfonso Cuarón's going to win his second Oscar.
That's what I have too.
I have a feeling all the momentum, everything is going towards that.
Which, as a filmmaker, I think he deserves it. I definitely don't have a problem with it. I just, like I said, didn't personally connect with Roma the way a lot of people did. Yeah. But I wouldn't be upset to see him win this award.
I wouldn't either. I think, he's well deserved. He could go down, join Ang Lee as one of a director to win 2 directing Oscars, but not have a single film win Best Picture. Yeah. So
could be interesting.
Could be very interesting.
Could be interesting.
Speaking of
is that Picture, where we're going next?
Let's move on to our Best Picture nominees. Now, I'm going to start.
Okay.
I'm going to say how many films I nominated.
Okay.
How many films I believe are going to be nominated. And and what they are.
All right.
So I believe 9. I think 9 is what we're going to go this year. I think The Love is definitely going to be spread. I think there's a lot of films that are going to be that people are going to have as number 1.
Okay.
Which means if that happens, The Love gets spread. Whereas if there's a few films that people have at number 1, it means that the Love stays very much within those films.
Okay.
So, I have Green Book, Vice, Roma, A Star Is Born, If Beale Street Could Talk, The Favourite, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Black Panther.
Okay.
If I could, I would put A Quiet Place, Crazy Rich Asians, or possibly Can You Ever Forgive Me in there, but I just couldn't quite fit them in, and that's also based on just what I think is going to actually be nominated.
So I have 10, just because I'm really crappy at this. And I was like, no, I just have to put 10. That just has to happen. So I have Roma, A Star Is Born, Green Book, The Favourite, If Beale Street Could Talk, Vice, Black Klansman, Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, and First Man.
Okay. That's fair enough. So we were basically got the same list, except you've got First Man.
Right. Which to me, the reason that I have that is because it was really hard for me, because there are a couple, like I said, Black Panther may make it, might not. Bohemian Rhapsody might make it, might not. And that I feel the same way for First Man, where those 3 for me are I just don't know how those are going to fall. Black Panther, I think, definitely has more momentum, and I think Bohemian Rhapsody does too. But we've seen crazier things happen with the Academy.
Oh, yes, we definitely have. Does anyone remember when they nominated Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close?
I try to forget that.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, but so what are you expecting? Is there any major upset? What to you would be the biggest upset award
for a nomination.
For a nomination.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think for me, the biggest upsets would be two things. One, Green Book doesn't get the nominations because the controversy has finally hit, where before it just hadn't gotten there yet. So I think either that, where Green Book just gets shut out all of a sudden, and people are just like, what happened?
Yeah.
And the other one, I think, is if it keeps up with the weird trend of the Globes, where A Star is Born kind of gets shut out.
Yeah.
Where it just doesn't get the love that people are expecting. To me, those are the big upsets where all of a sudden everything bursts open. Because if those two fall victim to anything like that, all of a sudden, I think that kind of really opens the door for Roma to take Best Picture. Yeah. More so than it already is right now.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I think for me, the biggest shock for me, obviously, would be if Hate You Give gets anything.
Right.
But to me, like a genuine, actual like shock where I will be stunned is if we see something like Spider-Man get in Best Picture.
Yeah.
So if Spider-Man gets nominated for Best Picture, or a documentary gets nominated for Best Picture, if we see all like
Won't You Be My Neighbor or
something like that, or Free Solo, like if one of those does, that will be a huge shock for me. There were people saying Cold War possibly could get nominated for Best Picture.
Which if there's two foreign films,
that would be a shock for me. Yeah. Like there's Best Picture to me is the most interesting race out of all of them this year. I mean, and for the first year in a long time where I've actually genuinely cared about Best Picture.
Right.
Because it hasn't, like, I can't remember a Best Picture race like this where there are 3 or 4 frontrunners.
Right.
And realistically, you couldn't point to one and say, they're going to get it. Like last year, we some people hoped that it wouldn't have been Shape of Water. Like, we all had our, like, favorites. Like, I really want to Get Out to win.
Right.
Like, Get Out, I want to Get Out to win. But we all knew Shape of Water was the one to beat.
Right.
I mean, La La Land was the one to beat.
Right.
And then someone beat
or
it.
Moonlight. Yeah. Like, they were both kind of like... But I think another one for me, another big one, would be if A Quiet Place really does sneak in and grab some of those nominations that people might be hoping for but not really expecting.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a very interesting year this year.
Definitely is. And you will see our reaction to the Academy Awards dropping on Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to get all the editing and stuff done, but it'll be up as soon as we can put it up because we are going to be doing an actual like live reaction to it, and just having
at night
having a party. So thank you guys so much for watching this. We definitely want to know your opinions down below. Do you guys have any really crazy out there things that you're hoping to see? Are you convinced that there's a lot of locks this year for nominations? Let us know in the comments. We're going to post our Goldderby links with all of our nomination predictions and everything in the description, so you guys can take a look at those. All of our social media stuff will be down there as well, as always. And I think that's it.
That's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.